While traveling on Air Force One to the Middle East to celebrate the ceasefire, President Trump told reporters, "I don't think there's anything that's going to get me into heaven." Then he paused for 10 full minutes, waiting for someone to say, "That's not true." Because Trump can't go to heaven. He's far too busy down here, running hell. President Trump met with Chinese President Xi Jinping. When asked how the meeting went, Trump said this.
But overall, I guess on the scale from 0 to 10, with 10 being the best, I would say the meeting was a 12.
I guess Trump just wanted to show China we're still way worse at math.
Jost starts by pointing out that every day under Trump feels like a rerun nobody asked for.
Volodymyr Zelensky has said that if President Trump provides Ukraine with Tomahawk missiles, he will nominate Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize. You know, the prize they give you for selling missiles. There was outrage that another alleged drug smuggling boat from Venezuela has been blown out of the water without warning. And you may not think that's a big deal right now, but one day soon, you'll look at yourself in the mirror and realize you're out of cocaine. President Trump criticized Time magazine for using a bad picture of him on the cover, saying, quote, "They disappeared my hair." And I gotta agree, that thing do look waxed.
Jost zeroes in on the obsession with loyalty. Under Trump, loyalty isn't about trust, it's about flattery. Every staff member becomes a contestant in The Apprentice White House edition, where the only prize is surviving another week without being publicly blamed for something.
In the Middle East are crediting President Trump with brokering the Israel-Hamas ceasefire, but it makes perfect sense to me because sometimes crazy people only listen to other crazy people. Like when you see a guy jacketing on the subway, you don't just ask him to stop. No, you got to take off your pants too, and now we can negotiate. President Trump has reportedly become concerned with Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene criticizing Republicans on key issues, with Trump asking, "What's going on with Marjorie?" Little advice, bro, just let her go. You can't change her. God knows I've tried.
Jost switches gears to Trump's handling of crises. Whether it's natural disasters, scandals, or global chaos, the pattern never changes. Deny, deflect, declare victory.
Start update with some good news. For once, there is peace in the Middle East. The only downside is there's war in Chicago. Only Trump could Freaky Friday Chicago and Gaza. And I know Trump is upset that he didn't win the Nobel Peace Prize, but the last guy to send heavily armed men into an American city was Bane from Batman. It was awarded this week to Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, or as Fox News reported it, Trump robbed by deranged Hispanic.
Che adds fuel to the fire, calling Trump's global reputation a cautionary tale in overconfidence. He imagines other world leaders treating him like that one coworker who talks loudly but never reads the memo. Che mocks the over-the-top nationalism, the constant self-praise, and the belief that bluster equals respect. The punchline? Every claim of strength only highlights insecurity. Jost digs into Trump's relationship with the media, a love-hate saga that makes toxic exes look functional. He loves the attention, but hates accountability. Jost describes it like a man arguing with his reflection, desperate for validation, but furious when it doesn't flatter him. The irony, Jost says, is that Trump needs the media more than the media needs him. Outrage is his oxygen, and headlines are his heartbeat. Che, with his unfiltered bite, calls Trump the influencer-in-chief. He turns every crisis into content, every scandal into marketing. Che points out that Trump doesn't want truth, he wants traffic. He's less a president and more an algorithm feeding on engagement. It's governance through outrage, and it works only because people keep watching.
President Trump, while on his trip, said that Iran has sort of agreed to terms for a nuclear deal in the same way Trump has sort of agreed to uphold the Constitution. Many people in Saudi Arabia were very happy with President Trump's visit to the country because rich Saudis love to fly out thick blondes.
Jost then skewers Trump's obsession with personal loyalty while ignoring national loyalty. He points out that loyalty to Trump means agreeing with him even when reality disagrees. Jost likens it to being trapped in a group project where the leader keeps erasing the answers and insisting everyone's wrong but him. It's dysfunction wrapped in delusion, and Jost mines every ounce of irony from it. Che doesn't let the subject go. He digs into how Trump's insecurity fuels everything. Every criticism becomes betrayal, every compliment a potential bribe. Che calls it emotional autocracy where feelings outrank facts. It's not leadership. It's therapy gone wrong, performed live on every channel. Jost shifts to Trump's pandemic-era policies, treating them like a lesson in denial. He paints the chaos as a dark comedy of errors. Science ignored, experts sidelined, solutions replaced by slogans. Jost's satire hits hard because it's rooted in truth. The refusal to listen turned crisis into catastrophe. It's like watching someone try to cure a fever by yelling at the thermometer.
Well, President Trump traveled to the Middle East this week, and if I were him, I would have just stayed there because it looked awesome. Trump arrived in Saudi Arabia, where he was greeted with a lavender carpet which matched the color of his tie and also the length. They also rolled out a mobile McDonald's truck for President Trump's visit, featuring Saudi Arabia's most popular new burger, the McJournalist.
Che turns it into social commentary. He talks about how Trump's refusal to face facts exposed a national weakness, our willingness to confuse confidence with competence. Jost calls it main character syndrome at a national level. Every success is exaggerated, every failure rebranded, and every truth buried under an avalanche of self-praise. The absurdity writes itself. A president so addicted to winning, he redefines losing as part of the plan. Che doubles down, turning Trump's self-importance into pure farce. He imagines Trump narrating history like a man convinced he invented it. Every event, every law, every breath of wind somehow becomes about him. Che jokes that America has political burnout and the cure might just be silence. Jost circles back to the economy, this time focusing on Trump's promises versus outcomes. He points out the widening gaps, the inflated numbers, the spin designed to mask the cracks. Jost calls it economics by confidence trick, where everything looks great until the lights come on. The joke lands because it's painfully true. Trump's success stories are built on borrowed applause. Che adds that Trump's financial storytelling feels like a get-rich-quick scheme pitched to an entire country. Every announcement is a sales pitch, every setback a conspiracy. Che paints him as a man who spent his entire life convincing people to buy a product that never ships.
Executive order giving refugee status to white people from South Africa. I could have sworn that white people had it good in South Africa. Must be the Mandela effect. The Trump administration announced that after face-to-face talks with China, it is lowering tariffs from 145% to 30%, which is a little like OJ bragging about taking the knife out.
Jost can't resist taking on Trump's relationship with the truth one last time. The constant denials, the shifting stories, the relentless spin, it's like a soap bubble factory of nonsense. Jost says the only consistent thing about Trump is inconsistency. Facts enter his orbit and immediately disintegrate. It's comedy born from chaos. Che closes in on Trump's psyche itself. The need for validation, the fear of irrelevance, the constant rewriting of his own narrative. It's all there, laid bare for laughs and pity. Che jokes that Trump's biggest enemy isn't the media, Congress, or critics. It's reality itself. The man's been running from it for decades, and now he's running the country the same way, in circles. Jost wraps up by comparing Trump's presidency to an improv show with no ending. The cast keeps changing, the jokes keep falling flat, and the audience stays because they can't believe what they're seeing. It's chaos disguised as confidence, performance mistaken for purpose. Che ends it with the kind of dark humor that hits deep. He says Trump isn't just a symptom, he's the mirror, a reflection of a country that mistakes noise for power, fame for leadership, and spectacle for strength. The destruction Jost and Che deliver isn't loud. It's surgical. They peel back the layers of bravado and leave the truth standing naked in the spotlight. Their roast isn't cruel, it's cathartic, because behind every joke lies a warning that this isn't normal, that laughter might be the only way to stay sane. Jost exposes the absurdity, Che exposes the fear, and together they remind the world that mockery is sometimes the only defense against madness. Trump may still hold the office, but in the court of comedy, the verdict's already in. And this time, the punchline has more power than the podium.